Welcome back, everybody, for another deep dive. And guys, oh my God, this one is nuts. We're going to be talking about human interaction, or maybe more accurately, the lack of it, through a couple of stories that really highlight how fast things can go off the rails.
Yeah, we're getting into some pretty heavy stuff.
Yeah, so to set the scene, we've got these two separate incidents, and both involves this, unbelievable escalation. And I think you're going to be blown away when you hear about this. And we're going to unpack what's going on psychologically behind these situations. So, Derek, why don't you kick us off with your story?
All right, so picture this. I'm walking down the street, just minding my own business, right? And this guy comes up to me completely out of nowhere.
Now, just to be clear for our listener, this is totally random. There's no history here. No reason for there to be any tension.
Yeah, totally random encounter. So this guy walks right up to me and just says, cunt.
He just said that no context, just straight to cunt.
Straight to cunt. I was so shocked. I think all I could say was, what? And what do you think he does? He says it again. You cunt.
Okay, wait a minute. I want the listener to stop and think about this for a second. What is the motivation behind this type of language? There's no attempt at communication here. There's no attempt to resolve anything. It's purely aggression just designed to provoke.
Yeah, it's almost like he's trying to assert dominance right off the bat, trying to establish some kind of power dynamic just through this verbal assault.
Right. And so, of course, at this point, I'm getting pretty pissed off. I mean, I'm not one to back down, so I said cunt right back to him.
Now, before you go judging Derek for his reaction, think about it. You're on the street. Some random guy's coming up to you and calling you names. What are you supposed to do? Is there a correct way to handle it? It's like a fight or flight scenario, right? And when that happens, the adrenaline kicks in. Your brain's trying to figure out how to protect yourself.
Yeah, and this is where it gets really ridiculous, because you fucking cunt.
So not only is he using this horrible language, but he's upping the ante, right? Adding that it's like pouring gasoline on a fire.
And, well, me being me, I couldn't let that stand, so I said, you fucking cunt, right back at him. And then it devolved into this back and forth, just cunt. Fucking cunt over and over again.
It's almost funny the way you're describing it, like a broken record stuck on the worst word imaginable.
But that's exactly what we're talking about here. It's this primitive loop of aggression. Neither one of us is thinking. At this point, we're just reacting, feeding off of each other's anger.
And looking back on it, honestly, it's kind of embarrassing, you know? Two grown men standing there throwing around the same insult, like it actually meant something.
But I bet at the time it felt very real. Right? All that adrenaline and anger it takes over.
Oh, it was all right. And then he hit me, just decked me right in the face and walked off.
So even after all those words, it still escalated to physical violence.
It's insane. And you want to know the worst part? As he's walking away, he yells, cunt, one last time. Like that was the point of the whole thing.
It's like all that anger, all those insults, it was all leading up to that one punch.
And it makes you think, what was going through this guy's head? Was he just looking for any reason to explode, or was this some kind of sick power trip?
It's tough to say for sure, but it definitely shows a lack of self-control.
Yeah.
An inability to control those aggressive urges.
Exactly. And this kind of leads into my own story, which is just as ridiculous, but in a totally different way.
Oh, yeah. This one's a classic. This is where things get really good.
All right. I'm hooked. Clive, lay it on us.
Okay, so picture this. I'm at a Tottenham match, right? It's a huge rivalry game against Arsenal. So the atmosphere is electric. Everyone's hyped up, the vibe. I'm just standing there minding my own business, and this guy walks up to me and says, hello.
Wait a minute. You're saying someone said hello, and that started a fight?
You heard right, hello.
I know it sounds crazy, right? How can hello be a problem? But something about the way he said it, the look in his eye, it just rubbed me the wrong way.
So it was more about the context, the nonverbals, rather than the actual word.
Exactly. I felt like he was trying to pick a fight like that. Hello was a challenge disguised as a greeting.
This is exactly what I was talking about before, that distorted perception, feeling threatened even when there's no actual danger.
Right. So I said to him, what do you mean hello? And he just shrugs and goes, I just meant hello.
So not exactly the reaction you were looking for.
Yeah.
How'd you respond?
Well, at that point, I was already worked up. My adrenaline was I felt like I had to stand my ground, so I kicked him in the balls.
No hesitation, just bam, right in the nuts.
He drops to the ground moaning. And as he's going down, he makes this huff sound. And I don't know what it was about that sound, but it just made me even angrier.
You're kidding, right? You attacked this guy because he said hello and then escalated because of the sound he made when you kicked him. I'm sorry you kicked him again because he made a noise while he was falling down after you kicked him in the balls.
Well, yeah, I mean, what was I going to do? Let him accept at me? So I gave him one in the teeth.
I can't believe this.
I don't even know what to say.
So you kicked this guy in the balls for saying hello,
yeah.
And then in the teeth because he groaned when you kicked him.
And then he starts yelling, ah, and saying he's dying. What a drama queen.
Wait a minute, he's the drama queen.
Yeah, so I just walked away. I wasn't going to stand there and listen to that crap.
Are you serious? Right now, you're acting like you're the victim in all this.
Look, I wasn't going to let some bloke and at me.
Guys, come on. We're supposed to be analyzing these situations, not making light of them.
You're right. I'm sorry. It's just crazy how Clive is twisting this whole thing around.
I think what's really fascinating here is how both of your stories, even though they're so different, they both show this tendency for us to see ourselves as the victim, even when we're the ones being aggressive.
Yeah, but there's a difference between sticking up for yourself and being a pushover.
Sticking up for yourself, you kicked a guy in the balls for saying hello.
Okay, let's just pump the brakes for a second. I think we've gotten a little off track here. The main point is that the way we see things can be totally warped, especially in the heat of the moment.
Right, but you got to draw the line somewhere. You can't just let people walk all over you.
But where is that line? And who gets to decide where it is in both of your situations? That line seems to be pretty unclear.
I'll admit I probably shouldn't have reacted the way I did to that guy calling me a cunt.
And maybe I could have gone a little easier on him with the kicks.
All right, now we're getting somewhere. But I think there's a bigger lesson here. We need to be aware of our own triggers, understand how our past and our own biases affect the way we react to things.
So you're saying we need to be more self-aware.
And maybe try to see things from the other person's point of view.
Exactly, because in the end, most conflicts happen because we don't understand each other. We fail to communicate effectively.
I mean, thinking back, I probably could have just ignored the guy who called me a cunt.
Yeah, maybe I could have just said hello back.
That's it. You guys are getting it. It's not about being passive or letting people push you around. It's about choosing your battles, responding thoughtfully, instead of just reacting without thinking.
This has been a real eye-opener.
Me too. I'm definitely going to try to be more mindful from now on.
That's what this deep dive is all about, right?
Yeah.
Questioning our assumptions, expanding our perspectives, and hopefully learning a little bit more about ourselves along the way.
Cheers to that.
Absolutely. And to everyone listening, remember next time someone says hello, take a breath, think about the situation, and maybe just say hello back. You never know. It might just save you a trip to the dentist.
Couldn't have said it better myself.
Thanks for joining us on this wild ride. And we'll see you on the next deep dive.